Hello, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. Sorry, munching on a cookie. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, December the 12th, 12/12/24, and we are here to do reading sprints for the next 2.5 hours. We'll be listening to ambiance during that time and switching it up about every 30 minutes to keep ahead of the YouTube police. Bring your own book, work on a project, be creative, or just close your eyes after a day. Whatever it is that is your self-care, I've just created the time and space and the music for you to do that. Our neighbor who I did that wedding crochet bedspread for left a tin of cookies on our doorstep. So of course I had to taste test it because we're good neighbors. Cajun says, "Hi, I'm reading Winter Wishes at Cutch Cove. Cutch Cove number 2. It's Welsh. I think you said it was Cutch. Oh, how nice. Yes. And the card, it's like a postcard, but it's double-sided. Hi, Heather. Good evening. I've got David Copperfield tonight, cozy in my big bed with my big dog. Oh, that sounds just perfect. So let's see if you can see, if it'll let me do it. It says Merrily Married in the glitter bottom. Where they got married was like a treehouse place. And it says Clayton and Arminda with a heart. And then on the back side is a photo from their wedding. And that's the destination place they went to. I think is it in Oregon? It's like tree houses. Some kind of resort lodge thing. So that was very, very nice. I want cookies. Yes. I had a ginger one. I think they look homemade. There's some frosted in there. I'm probably going to encourage, there's not a whole lot, but there's like a dozen maybe. Steve and I don't need to eat all these cookies, so we'll probably bring them to work, but I had one of the ginger ones. It was really good. It was chewy. Hey, Amy, everyone. I'm currently reading Archangel's Legion by Delaney Singh tonight. Nice pictures. Yeah, they're a cute couple. Clayton and Arminda, and she goes by Mindy. So, how has your week been? How's your day been? Let's see, quick announcements. Our next sprints are on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. They go for 5 hours. After tonight's reading sprints, we have chapter 12 of our Advent calendar bedtime story read aloud cozy mystery called Christmas at Glitter Peak Lodge. It is getting interesting. So being the 12th, we're almost about halfway there, right? Some intriguing things are happening. It's picking up. We've got a lot of setting the ambiance there in Norway. And it's starting to get very interesting. People have secrets. People have secrets. They're probably going to start coming to fruition. Tomorrow's morning show is Freeform Friday. There's a couple things I wanted to point out on that. And then we'll continue with the cozy mysteries that are being published this week. Heather, I went to Barnes & Noble today. Oh! Do you see my greenness? I'm jealous. I bought Demon Copperhead, even though I've heard mixed reviews. It did win the Pulitzer Prize. True. So you will have to report back to us good for you. That tourist lady for sure. Yes. The Americans. I have a couple theories about them. Toya. Hello, everyone. Hi, Toya. Halfway through The Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan. Nice. That'd be a hotel I'd want to. Well, as long as book club means read your own book. I don't do book clubs. I was thinking about reading today as we are coming to a close of 2024 and heading into 2025, which blows my mind because it's still only like the 80s were only like 20 years ago. But I've stopped doing like a 23 and 23 TBR kind of thing because it just doesn't work for me. Those are the books I was in the mood to read in December, January. And as the year goes on, I'm not really maybe interested in those books, or it just adds pressure. So what I've started to do starting last year and continuing in this year is creating a 23 favorites of 23. And this year it's 24 favorites of 24. And it got me to thinking, yeah, the 80s were just like yesterday. I know. I'm telling you, it's only like 20 years ago. So far I've made a list looking through my year. I've read 110 books so far, completed. I only count completed. And I've come up with 20 so far of 24. Now at this point, I'm not really doing duplicate authors. I definitely could fill that list right away when I've read more than one book in a series throughout the year and really love that series. So, but today I seem to be adding more to my disappointments. I don't necessarily have a number set for the disappointments of the year, but I do make a list of disappointments. And for some reason I was in the mood to add more to my disappointments. Hi, Kim. Hi, all. Don't know if I'm reading or not. Woke up around 3 a.m. this morning. Oh, goodness, you need sleep, girl. I'd love to know everybody's book of the year. One book? Top 3? Top book of each genre? I'm trying to wiggle here, Amy, but I want to try to get better at a TBR. I'm following it next year. And occasionally I change my mind as I write this list. Absolutely. And the other question I had is, do you change your ratings? Because I set my rating, of course, I'm talking Goodreads. It's just one of the easier free ones out there. There's other systems and so forth. You could go by the books that you gave a 5-star to as your top whatever books of the year. And again, like 24 and 24, it gives me a bigger list than a top 10 kind of list. But do you downgrade as the year goes on? Because that rating is what I felt in the moment. And I might have felt in the moment, I really liked this book. It's a 4 or 5-star. And then as the year goes on, you're looking back and go, you know, that really probably wasn't a 5. It was more like a 4. Do you hold to your grade in the moment? Or do you change it to reflect time passing? This is a philosophical question. My book of the year, that's hard. I have too many, but one is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Book of the year. Let me get back to you on that one. No, I don't change ratings. That's my inclination. So therefore, as the year goes on, my 5-star rating isn't necessarily going to be a book that's in my top 24 of 24. That's my point. Heather, I've never read Sarah J. Maas, but maybe I'll start there. If you haven't read Sarah J. Maas, start with The Glass Throne. Is that first one? And hi, all. Reading Silence for the Dead, which I hope to finish tonight by Simone St. James. Ooh, very good. Been making some good progress in that. I'm going to be reading tonight. I'm going to continue with The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I think I'm at about 58%. I'm really, really liking it. I am very pleased. What was the other question I had? It was about, so I was kind of also looking at, I've made the, I don't know if you call it a resolution, but I'm going to, in 2025, 90% of the time, read what I own, and I own a lot. And I'm counting Kindle, Audible, physical, things like that. Which got me to, I was starting an Amazon list of, here's some books I own that I'd like to get back to. And some of the books were series that I fell away from for whatever reason. Oh yeah, that was the question. Or rereading a series or a book that I read 20, 30 years ago, because I'm now 58, level 58, and you could conceivably say adult reading started at age 18. So I've got 40 years of reading, and what I read 20, 30, 40 years ago, would probably have a different perspective on. Would I still like it? Would something that I DNF'd or paused or didn't continue in a series about, am I now, shall we say, mature enough to enjoy it? These are questions. I don't really do favorite books with a few exceptions. I usually do series. An outstanding standalone can be in there. Good point. Amy, a great place to start with Sarah J. Maas is either Court of Thorns and Roses, True, for more romance, or Throne of Glass for a more epic fantasy. Very good recommendations, yes. And if you're new to fantasy, Sarah J. Maas is a good place to start if you are looking for less of high fantasy, high epic fantasy. High epic fantasy that isn't 900 pages. Maybe the Shannara series, that might be a good place to start. Heather, I agree, Cajun. In the Harry Potter series, The Prisoner of Azkaban was just outstanding to me. Yeah, J.K. Rowling. And have you read her Robert Galbraith books? Of course, those are getting bigger and bigger and bigger too, as she does. But I enjoy that, Heather. I enjoy epic fantasy. Me too. Me too. That's what I, Gen X, so reading fantasy of the 80s, starting, serious 80s fantasy reading, they were more epic back then. Romance was very, very low on the priority list. It could happen, but it wasn't the focus. So I want to save the kingdom. I want a band of companions saving the kingdom, going on journeys and running into obstacles. Amy, don't start with House of Flame and Shadow, as it's book number 3 in Crescent City. Start with House of Earth and Blood in the Crescent City. That's Crescent City number 1. Heather, got it. Annie, my book of the year would be The Women by Kristen Hanna. I think that's going to be a lot of them. I read that one. It's I liked it for how it was very much like the China Beach TV series in the beginning. Didn't love it, but I thought it was very, very good. What? I didn't know she had other books. She does. Robert Galbraith, Mysteries, Private Eye. Read them in order. Heather, Dungeons and Dragons was so influential. Plus, they've made them into a the UK miniseries stuff. Not bad. Good actors. Amy, Crescent City is more her urban fantasy series, by the way. Yes. If I remember right, more paranormal-ish urban fantasy for sure. But is there like supernatural is what I'm trying to think of. It kind of has those kind of flavors. And Heather, Azkaban is my favorite in this series too, and also the movie. Oh, yeah. My book of the year was James by Percival Everett. Oh, yeah, that one. I remember that one. Kim, and I've a pair of readers in bed while I'm in bed. um, gosh. Well, favorite of the year. And trying to look at them all. I'm in a different browser. I don't know if I can bring Goodreads up on this one. Let's see. Come on, you. Keo, stop licking. Um, we'll take a moment. We like talking about books. The other question I have is if you do a reread and it could be in your top list, should you put it on your top list or should it not? Well, let's go to it. Let's do a shortcut here. Let's look at my what I have for top 24 of 24 and maybe one. Oh, I can't do one. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up and think about it. Still putting it off. Cajun, one reason I started reading lighter mysteries is when I went to the office the third time I missed my stop on the train due to being engrossed in my book. You can't be so engaged in your book, so you went to lighters. Amy, I love all the Harry Potter series, but my favorite is The Order of the Phoenix. Heather said, Cajun, I can so see that happening. At least on the way home, I was the last stop, but it didn't even faze my boss. I was late due to reading. Well, see, it's a good reason and totally understandable. Heather, I usually improve my opinion with a reread, except I'm usually rereading the 5-star reads anyway. So yeah, so do you give it a double 5-star if you read it in a different year? And then I don't reread like back to back or anything like that. Anyway, these are things to think about. Shall we do some reading ourselves? Continue in what we're reading. All right. So again, we're going to be doing this for the next 2.5 hours. Yes, double 5 stars. There should be a thing on Goodreads that lets us do like double 5 stars. You know, read it, reread it, do rereads. Better. You can do kind of rereads on Goodreads, but it's clunky. And I wish Goodreads would let you do like 0.5s and so forth. Goodreads, work with us. So we're doing, let's change the banner. We'll be listening to ambiance for the next 2.5 hours. I'll switch it up about every 30 minutes to keep ahead of the YouTube police. We'll do a check-in at the top of each of the 2 hours, and then we'll do a final check-in at the bottom of that half hour. And if you don't like the ambiance, you won't hurt my feelings. Just let me know in the comments. I choose these by how they look. I don't listen to them at the time. Sometimes the way they sound is not necessarily conducive for the reading experience. Again, there's lots and lots here. You won't hurt my feelings. Just let me know. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Are you ready? Happy reading. Let's go. And that's the end of our first sprint. How did everybody do? I got to page 654, which is 57% in the Way of Kings. I'm very much liking it. Cajun said, that looks like a scene in one of my Christmas hidden object games. Doesn't it though? Isn't that cute? Great opening line. It was when the stable animals developed the power of speech that I realized the cast were departing from my nativity play script. That does sound very interesting. And I'm sure they were complaining. Heather, it's a cozy scene. I live in a place where we have lights on the palm trees. Took some getting used to. Oh, wow. And Annie got to 94%. Oh, so close, close. And Toya, 47 pages. Good job. Amy got to 59%. Awesome. Cajun finished my book. Yay, congratulations. Woo, good job. And got to 8% of Murder in the Manger. Sophie Sayers, number 3. Murder in the Manger. Very seasonal. Okay, switching the banner. And switching our ambiance. All right. And Heather says, yay, Cajun! Kim, I watched YouTube. Need batteries for my remote. Oh, man. I have so much YouTube to watch. People are doing their Vlogmas, Bookmas, the regular blogs, my regular reactors, and I just found a new reactor. Haven't watched it yet, but is watching like the entire NCIS series from the beginning. Can you imagine? So there's just so much. Amy, I'm so far enjoying the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson as well. I'm almost done with book 4. Cool. This is my first. As I mentioned more than once, I tried to read The Way of Kings last year and got to page 75. And for the first time, I truly understood I wanted to throw a book against the wall. And it's the one right over there. I mean, and I had the physical book. I was just like, but tried it again here last week, and I'm really, really liking it. Rhythm of War, yes. And then you can move on to the 5th book, which just came out on Friday, that everybody's now reading. I will continue with this series. In fact, this book I've already listed on my top 24 of 24 to bring it back to our earlier conversation. So I better finish it before December 31st. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well with it. Kim, it works when it wants. Man, I'm just gonna smack it around a little bit. Kim, ooh, let me know who it is. Oh, the reactor? I'm slow. Took me a second. Let me find him just a minute. I just found him, so I don't know. Grey Wolf TV. Grey Wolf is one word, space TV. And he's looks like he's doing a lot of other series. Now there's people who react, but it's to other shows, but it seems like the more trendy ones. I've never really seen anybody. There is a couple guys that are doing the Doctor Who series and the Sherlock series that I'm really, really enjoying. They go under Syntell, which is Syntell. But this is the first one I've ever seen doing NCIS, and he's only up to like season 3. Can you imagine there's what, 16 seasons now? Holy moly. And you have to have remote now, no knobs. Oh, I know. Isn't it weird just the way technology evolves. Who was it? Who was it? Oh, what is her name? I can picture her, the comedian, who said she wasn't going to get a CD. This is dating it. It's from maybe the 90s, maybe 2000s. Must be the 90s. Saying she wasn't going to get a CD player unless they can guarantee that's the last thing that they're going to invent. Because she did the record, she did the 8-track, she did the cassettes, and I'm with her. You know, of course, and I'm level 58, so I grew up without computers, and I have seen the evolution of the computers, which is just mind-blowing. Of each time I see something like, okay, there's no floppy disk. What? Okay, now they don't even have CD players. What? It's just weird. I mean, don't stop. I love it. I love invention and so forth, but Amy, same here. I tried the Way of Kings last year, same problem this year. I pushed through and now loving it. See? We've matured. We have matured. I'm also looking at it as when I read the first 75 pages last year, I was just not tuned into his words, vibe, world building. I was very frustrated with his world building. Because not that he does so much of it. He does do so much of it and doesn't explain it. And some of it just isn't logical to me. Like in this series, the Sprens, I don't care for. To me, it just seems like a lazy way to show that there's emotions going around. But, you know, he's who he is. Yes, the NCIS ones. Amy, I already have book number 5, Wind and Truth, ready to go. Look at you go. I'm going to wait until it comes out in paperback, but I might read it in Kindle if I get there. But that is part of my plan for 2025 is part of the deliberate reading that I want to do. Because with his books, you have to do deliberate reading. And I'm so thankful I've lived life in a time before cell phones. Absolutely. I adore the internet, but I'm glad I grew up without all of that. I was able to develop my imagination, appreciate entertaining myself, and so forth. And probably why we love books. You can't slam down a cell phone. Very true. There is not emotional satisfaction that we have. Or being on the phone, and usually it was attached to the wall, you know, that kind of phone, that had the cord that you stretched to get it to your bedroom so you could close the door. Heather's laughing with Cajun. Kim, just subscribed. Oh, good. My phone will work as remote when I can get it to recognize my TV. Hello, TV. This is my phone. Cajun, I remember when we only had to dial 6 digits to make a call. Oh, yeah. We never had that here in Billings, but I worked on a movie in a town, about an hour and a half away. And it was a small enough town that when they told you the phone numbers, they didn't do like the first 3 numbers of the 7 digits. They would just tell you it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that took some adjusting to like, what? I need more numbers. But it started with 222 and everybody knew it started with 222. Okay, me too, Cajun. Ugh, we are blessed. We are truly blessed. Plus, we were able to be alive before that, but now we are alive during it, and I will not go back to, I absolutely adore that I can get a book in 5 seconds if I want to read it right now. I love that. Or someone would pick up on the extension. I'm on the phone. But I need to call. Oh, yeah, kids don't get it. Or of course the oldie but a goodie. If you wanted to watch a show, that was the time it was on. There was no watching it at any other time. That was it. They don't appreciate that. Again, we didn't have that here. At least I don't remember if we did. True. Might have been young, too young to be making phone calls. What are you doing making phone calls if you're in grade school? All righty. Well, Columbus is a big city compared to. I mean, Billings is the biggest city in Montana still, and we are only at 120,000. Biggest town in Montana. We like it that way. Come visit. Don't move here. Oh, that's evil. All right. Let's do another sprint. Party line, shared phone lines. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't experience that, but I have heard. Can you? Oh, I would have been a horrible, way back when phones, and you had to have the operator doing everything, but she would often stay on the phone and listen into all the. That would have been me, I'm sure. Yes, that's true. I know we had several prefixes. Ah, yeah. All right. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Oh, and we do have a critter at the end. We haven't had a critter like that in a while. Annie, my grandmother had a party line. The first time someone came on the line, I thought it was some kind of sci-fi or spy incident. It scared me. Well, your brain tries to make sense of it, and that's what you came up with. Uh, yeah. Oh man, kids just don't know. How sad for them. And you see it with the kids that are now. I'm thinking of like Gen Z and some of the employees that we've had that just cannot think outside the box. They can't do anything without sometimes being told or having approval, or they just relying on our former service manager flat told us he couldn't read cursive. Uh, how do you do that? It's like I don't read because nothing is. Yeah, I don't know. Cajun last with Annie. All right, are you guys ready? Happy reading. I'm gonna go make some tea. I'll be right back. Let's go.
And that's the end of our second sprint. How did everybody do? Sorry, during that last half hour, I wasn't paying attention. I had gone down a rabbit hole and hadn't noticed that the ambiance that we started out with in that last half hour was extremely short. And so we jumped around a little bit there. I got to page 667, which is 58%. As we went to sprints, Heather had said my niece can't read or write cursive. That just blows my mind. And I mentioned that I was told a lady had said that this wasn't for her high school age daughter. They weren't teaching her spelling or anything like that because they have spell check. So why bother? Teachers were saying this. And Toya said, but how do you know that spell check is right? Absolutely. Sometimes auto check spell doesn't get the right word. It's the context. So you would have to know how to spell to choose the right word. Absolutely. Just, was it Monday with a new release? I read the summary out loud for each book. And in this one, the word was supposed to be weekend, but it was the word weakened, which was spelled correctly, but it wasn't the right word for that context. It was just really bizarre. And I had mentioned that they're taking thinking, problem solving, and logic out of education. It just blows my mind. Hi, Grandma Susan. Pretty ambiance. Thank you. Amy said, I'm falling asleep while reading, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for sprints. Bye, everyone. And I had said goodnight and have a good night. Thanks for being here. And that was my sorry for not paying attention. Sorry about that. Isabel said, got started on some world building for my fantasy novel. Oh, cool. Oh, I bet that's fun to do. Using these as writing sprints. Good deal. Good deal. I often use these for crochet sprints when I'm working on a project. I did a wedding one and last Christmas and so forth. It's great time to be doing whatever it is you want to do. It is time carved out for you, set aside. I love that. Toya, 47 pages. Again, you've got your cruise control on there. Heather, 19%, and David Copperfield. Good for you. Good job. Hi, Dorothy. This was my first reading sprint. I only got to page 68, but this is so nice. Oh, welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Heather, spelling and writing took up a huge chunk of time, so what do they do? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up 8th grade, Miss Price. We did sentence diagramming. I loved it, but we did sentence diagramming. Annie finished her book. Yay! Congratulations! Woo! Good job. All right, we've got one more sprint to go. This was just for half hour tonight. We do the sprints 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern time for 2.5 hours, and Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern for 5 hours. So a total of 10 hours of sprinting each and every week. When we finish this sprint, I'm going to hop over to my spin-off channel, Tales for Bookeemonsters, to do our Advent Calendar Bedtime Read-Along Cozy Mystery. If you want to pop over there or just watch it later. But when we get done with that, we'll head over there. Heather, I forgot all about sentence diagramming. There's actually workbooks. I want to buy some because I love doing that. I was a nerd. I was an English nerd. I loved it. Of course, going back even further, we had Schoolhouse Rock that these kids don't watch. We learned all about nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives. They don't do that anymore. Heather, yay, Annie, we're finishing. Huzzah! She did awesome. All right, one more to go. And then, oops, let me change the banner. And then we'll do a final check-in and then pop over to the other channel. Are you guys ready? Happy reading? Hold the phone. Do we talk about how they have? Oh man. Oh, why are they messing with the kids? If I had kids, I don't have kids, but if I had kids, I'd be homeschooling. I would be homeschooling. Give them the basics, the foundation, the stuff that's really helpful. That's what I'd be doing. Oh, just makes me angry. And it almost makes you want to be a teacher, but it's such a huge, how do you even make a difference? I don't know. I don't know. And maybe you just pick a battle. Like for me, I guess the battle I would pick would be reading. Because in schools they teach you how to read, and what they're done by about third grade, second, third grade of how to read, and then they stop. And they turn reading into assignments and reports and that they don't, a lot of schools, I'm not saying all schools because there are some schools, but they don't set aside time to have the enjoyment of reading. That would probably be the battle that I would try to fight. Plus, grammar. I am a badge carrying member of the grammar police and I'm in the adverb division, but grammar in general, just language, English language and reading would probably be my niche. But yeah, I wished I loved math more. I was in honors math in junior high and high school. I didn't realize at the time that I'm numerically dyslexic. I switched numbers, so I had some frustrations that way. But I wish they had approached math. The only thing I would say with math is I wish they made it more interesting, supplement it with like the history of math and numbers and why it's fun rather than here's problems and equations to solve. And like math can be fun with adding elements of trade and business and that kind of thing. I think I've told the story before. I had a friend in college, a freshman year of college. We had gone to high school together, and she was doing math as her major in college, and she was in like super duper calculus and stuff. And I remember her just beatic face going, "It all makes sense now." Because when you get to that level, it does make sense. But if they could introduce that earlier, that fun, that would be so cool. What's worse is that the big literacy dip was blamed on the kids when the new literacy method was focused on the test. Yes, instead of lifelong learning, which ultimately does not work. That and moving away from phonics and, they just lost. And I'm grateful I went to school when I did. I think we were even starting to be dumbed down then, because if you look at the curriculum of 100 years ago, Latin and all at more even advanced math and stuff like that at much younger ages for other countries. Kim, I'm going to head off. Can't stop. Thanks for being here, Kim. Have a good night. Dorothy, I had a teacher once a week show us how the math applied to real life, and it was the only time math would click for me. That is fantastic. What a gift. I wish they did stuff like that. Well, let's do our critter of the night. We haven't had a dragon in a while, and we've got about 20 minutes of reading here. We'll do a final check-in. Are you guys ready? Happy reading? Let's go. And that's the end of our last sprint. How did everybody do? I got to page 685, which is 59% of the Way of Kings. I am liking it a lot. I will probably read a little bit before going to bed. Let's do a last check-in. And he had said, dropping phonics was crazy. My younger siblings had to learn using flashcards. They were supposed to memorize how the word was spelled. They had such a hard time learning to read. It worked. Why? I don't understand how they would do what they do, the things that they do. Toya, 22 pages. Good job. And Dorothy just got to 100 pages. Awesome. Thanks for all the company. Oh, thank you for being here. Next time is on Saturday afternoon. So 3 p.m. We do it for 5 hours that day. Another 20%. I had to laugh because I actually thought to myself, this is so Dickensian. Because it is. He invented it. Oh, I love that. I love the way our brains work. So let's see. Other than sprints on Saturday, tomorrow's morning show is Freeform Friday. We'll be looking at a couple interesting things, and then we'll be doing more of the cozy mysteries that are published this week. And just in a couple minutes, we'll be hopping over to the alternate channel Tales for Bookeemonsters and read chapter 12 of our Advent calendar read aloud bedtime story cozy mystery. And thanks again for sprints, and we'll see you Saturday. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out here. We'll see ya soon. Be well. You guys are in my heart. You guys, you know you're in my heart. So I'm going to go hop off for a minute and get things set up, and then I'll be back on the other channel. Cajun dozed off at some point. It's kind of designed that way. It's okay. You know I say sleep is good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good night. God bless.